Welcome, welcome. I'm Sophia from Lipstick Junkie Forever, and today's video is going to be my Sephora Holiday Savings Event recommendations video. This is going to be a really long one. Just looking at the stuff that I have, it's a lot. It's a lot, and this is just the stuff I've tried and have been loving since my last recommendations video, which was in the spring. Is it me, or does it feel like this event is starting earlier and earlier with each passing year? Because it used to be a November event, but let me tell you what the sale details are for this year. Rouge can save 20% off starting October 28th. VIB can save 15% off starting November 1st. Insiders can save 10% off starting November 3rd. The sale ends completely on November 7th for everybody, and everybody should be using the code SAVINGS in order to actually save. On top of that, all tiers save 30% off on Sephora Collection products starting on October 28th. So even if you're an insider and can't actually use your code and savings up until November 3rd, you can start shopping for Sephora Collection stuff and saving on Sephora Collection stuff starting on October 28th. If you don't have a membership, you can always sign up. It is free, and you will immediately be getting access to the insider status. Just as a little side note, something I learned last time, that does not include the Sephora favorite sets, because I guess those are not Sephora Collection. Before I get into my recommendations, I just want to mention one thing. As good as the Sephora Holiday Savings event can be for some things, such as Sephora favorites, Sephora Collection, anything that's truly exclusive to Sephora, I do think that it has historically been better to purchase things on the brand's individual websites because they tend to do better sales. And the second thing I want to do is give you a disclaimer. I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Not everything is new. Not everything's new to the market this year or since my last recommendations video back in April. You might actually own a lot of this stuff. And if you do, great. That means that now you can go and use it and not spend more money on it. But I will be talking about the items I've been enjoying very much since my last recommendations video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know if there's anything that you actually already own from what I have, if something has piqued your interest, or just let me know if you're recommending something for me to purchase, or if you're interested in me reviewing something. Let me know that too. I want to start the video by both giving you recommendations for fragrances I'm loving, but also how I like to buy them. And that is by buying them in travel sizes or small bottles. Those tend to be a lot more cost effective, though in this instance, I'm not sure, how cost effective this was. This is Good Girl Gone Bad by KILIAN, which means that this perfume is expensive. This bottle, 7.5 milliliters, is $48 before a discount. And you're wondering, what does a Big Daddy perfume cost? $265 for 50 milliliters. And that's fine to pay if you're really loving a perfume or if it's like your signature scent. But I didn't know anything about this perfume before that. I didn't really want to buy a full-size one because it was a lot of money even after a discount. So I got it in the travel size, and I'm so glad I did. And I'm so glad that I got it in the size because I bought this during the spring savings event, which means that I bought it in the spring. And I didn't like it for the spring. Then I tried it for summer, and I didn't like it for summer. Then I tried it in the fall. I love it for the fall. It's got orange blossom and tuberose keynotes, as well as I think osmanthus. It's really beautiful. It's got a complexity to it that I just don't know how to describe. I highly recommend that if you're going to buy this perfume, you don't buy it in the full size. I don't think you can even get a sample size, but even if you could get a sample size, you would literally have to figure out when it suits you. I do think that this is going to be a perfect fall scent. If you like tuberose fragrances, I highly recommend that you give this one a try. By KILIAN perfumes generally don't go on sale, and certainly not on their website. So this is one of the exceptions where it's actually better to buy on the Sephora website during the holiday savings event versus wait to see if another retailer will have it on sale. And the next and last fragrance I want to recommend is My Way by Armani Beauty. This is an absolute stunner of a fragrance. This also has tuberose and orange blossom. Do you see a trend here? I mean, now that I think about it, so does my signature scent, which happens to be De Sun by Diptyque. This one, though, unlike the other ones, has vanilla as a keynote, and it is really a stunner of a fragrance. I keep being stopped in the street to be told how good I smell. I mean, this is... I don't know how to describe it, but it's floral but a warm floral, which makes sense because it also has vanilla. I mean, it's stunning. It's beautiful. I really recommend this fragrance. But unlike the by KILIAN fragrance I was just talking about, this one you can get on the Armani Beauty website for a better sale than you will be able to get at Sephora, regardless of which tier you are. I got this one in a set with the travel size of this for I think 60 something dollars on the Armani Beauty website. And then I thought that that was like a one-time sale. No, 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 no. Like a couple of weeks later, they had another sale for also 30% off. And I bought something else for someone else during that sale. And then a couple of days ago, they were having another sale where if you spent $95 or more, you could get a 50 ml fragrance of your choice. So I think that with this fragrance or any Armani fragrance that you want, I highly recommend that you just stock the Armani Beauty website. But I do want to recommend this fragrance. Let's talk foundations. And my favorite foundation that released this year was the Beautiful Skin Foundation from Charlotte Tilbury. This one's a stunner. It gives a really natural skin-like look to your skin where you're wearing foundation, sure, but it doesn't look like you're wearing foundation. And that is actually the look that I'm going for. I really don't want to look like I'm wearing foundation. And I love this foundation so much that though this one in 4 Neutral, which is my Depths of Summer shade, is pretty full, its sister, 3 Neutral, which is my not so Depths of Summer and, late spring, early fall shade, is completely empty. Like, look at how skinny that is, like completely flat. I love this foundation. Contrary to what I was just talking about buying something on the brand's website, I highly recommend that if you only want this Charlotte Tilbury foundation, you don't try and buy it on her website unless you're willing to pay full price, because her sales are great, except for the fact that you have to buy like 2 or 3 items. She's like, oh, darling, it's a sale, 30% off. And then you go to the website and you have to buy like $100 worth of stuff to get the $48 foundation. I think it's $48. It's kind of expensive now that I think about it for foundation, but it is a good foundation. And the second foundation I want to recommend, also released this year, this is the NARS Light Reflecting one. This released, I think, January. It is also a very thin foundation, really gorgeous, skin-like, doesn't settle into fine lines. I really like this one. I love it so much that I'm actually really sad that the shade I have is in the shade Patagonia, and it is my like super fake tanned or Depths of Summer shade. So I'm actually considering picking this up in a lighter shade during this holiday savings event too. I will probably check to see what NARS does historically around Black Friday, and if they have anything more than 20% off, then I'll pick it up through their website. But I really love this foundation. And just to show you how thin it is, I just put it on, and I don't know if you can see, but you can actually see my skin through it. It's absolutely stunning. And the last foundation I want to talk about is a reminder that this still exists out there. It's the Estée Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I find that it's a full coverage foundation, not too full coverage, but full coverage enough. It looks beautiful on the skin. It dries down just enough where you don't need too much powder. It looks great even if you wear sunglasses and the sunglasses sit on your cheeks. If you're wearing a mask, it doesn't rub off too much. It's particularly nice if you're going to wear goggles when you're skiing, like I will be this year. I'm going to be wearing this because I really want to look made up even when I'm skiing and, hurtling down a mountain of snow. So I highly recommend this. Do consider this as a possible foundation that you can pick up. Let's talk about eyeshadows next. I only have 2 of them, and one of them is an eyeshadow palette that was released recently. I'm wearing it on my eyes right now. The other one is a quad that I've been wearing quite a lot over the last few weeks, and you've probably seen in my recent shorts and reels, and it is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Quad. Let me tell you how much I regret not owning this before, because I bought this quad for my birthday, which is on June 3rd. So the first day I used it was June 3rd of this year. I'm recording in October and I already hit pan. Recently, as I said, if you've been watching my reels or stories or shorts or TikToks, God, there's so many things, or videos, I've been using this over a Jouer pinkish cream eyeshadow stick. I also have been wearing it over the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in Rose Gold. I don't love that product as much because it creases, but I really love this. I literally wear these two bottom shades over the cream eyeshadow stick, and it looks phenomenal. Phenomenal. And you might already own this. And if you don't own it and you want to get it, you can get it on either Sephora during the sale, or I actually got this on the ASOS website. And I don't know if you know, because I didn't know up until recently, but ASOS carries a lot of Charlotte Tilbury products. They don't carry the foundation, sadly, but they do carry a lot of her products. And sometimes, most of the time, it feels like these days, their sales work on the Charlotte Tilbury products as well. It might not be every single sale, but it might be worth trying. And their sales are like 25% off, 30% off. Just try it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to have to buy it at Sephora or wait a little bit and buy it later. It's literally not going anywhere. It's permanent. But I really highly recommend this one. I think this one's a stunner. And the eyeshadow palette I've been loving is the Natasha Denona My Dream Collection palette. This one's an absolute stunner. I'm wearing the shade Vision all over my eyelids today, and on the corners I have Edgy. I don't love Edgy and Instinct, believe it or not. Those cream to powder shadows that everybody seems to love are not my favorite, but I love this palette so much. It is just warm enough for me because I have cool skin tone. I really love the Blackest Black and Aspiration shades up here to use as eyeliner. Don't get me wrong, this is not the only Natasha Denona palette I love. I still love the Glam palette, but since I mentioned that during my spring savings event video, I don't want to mention that again. But between that one and this one, oh, and the Charlotte Tilbury, oh, perfection. You're so beautiful. Oh, me too. The sun is setting and I had to tinker around with the camera settings. So let's get into the blushes next. I have so much that I want to talk about that I actually had to organize them in two piles, powders and creams. Let's start with the powders first. And I want to talk about the Bare Minerals bronzer. I have it in the shade Kiss of Copper, and I love this one so much because it gave that beautiful sunburnt look that I'm actually going to pick up Kiss of Pink during the sale because this is stunning. This is $25, which is affordable by Sephora standards and compared to the other blushes I'll be talking about. But I really think that saving $5 on it would make me very happy. Love it. Next, I want to talk about the Charlotte Tilbury Beautifying Face Palette. I have it in the shade Fair to Medium. It also comes to Medium to Deep. I really love it. I just did a video on this, comparing it to Patrick Ta. I swatched both of those palettes. I gave you my recommendations as to whether to buy them or not, or how I feel about them. I'm going to link that in the description box below and in the iCards up here. But I really want to recommend this palette because I think that it is ideal for fair to light skin tones, especially if you're really fair. These blushes are both buildable blushes. I am actually wearing it today. I've actually been wearing it about 2/3 of the times that I've been doing makeup since I bought this, so highly recommend it. Really think that this is a good buy for you. The next blush I want to talk about is the Pat McGrath Divine Blush. I have it in the shade Flirtatious, which is great for anybody who is fair to light, even light skin tones, because it is a little bit buildable. But beyond that, I want to talk about the formula because this is a really finely milled formula that is just beautiful and just smoothing on the skin. It is an expensive blush. It is $39. Even if you're getting almost 10 grams of product, it is an expensive blush. But the reason I want to talk about this is not just to recommend this particular shade, but to recommend this blush because Pat McGrath just came out with I think palettes that have 4 blushes and a highlighter, but it is this blush that is in the palette. So I highly recommend that you look at the palette and consider it if you want it. Her sales on her website are actually really good. They're 30% off. I think currently she's having a sale, as of the recording of this video, she's having a sale where you can take 25% off if you purchase up to $125 worth of product. And then if you buy $125 or more of product, you can take 30% off. And she does these with relative frequency, so I highly recommend that if you really want something from the holiday collection, you go to her website. But I do want to recommend this blush. It is really good. And because we were just talking about blush palettes, I want to recommend another one, and that is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush Palette that they just released. That comes with 5 blushes and the Park Avenue Princess bronzer in it. So I think that it's a really good deal if you get that. Their blushes are really hard to use up, so you're actually going to have that for a very long time. And I've had their blushes from like so many years ago that I don't even want to mention that are actually still very good. So I highly recommend that you purchase that if you're interested in their blushes and don't want to be out a ton of money buying them individually. I've been recording for so long that the sun has set, the light has changed, the candle burnt out, and I had to turn on the ring light. Continuing with the holiday releases, I want to talk about the LYS cream blush set that they're just released. This is what the big size of the LYS blush, cream blush looks like. This is 6.5 grams of product for $16, which is really affordable. So certainly by Sephora standards, it is. The set that they just released comes with 3 blush shades. They're really beautiful. One of them I think is a permanent shade. The other 2 are limited edition. But the set itself costs $20. So $4 more than what a full size of one of them would cost. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Each one of those pans is 4 grams of product. So if you multiply that across 3, you get 12 grams of product. So essentially, you're getting almost the equivalent of 2 of their full-size blushes for the price of just above 1. That's if you pay retail. If you're Rouge and you're saving 20% off on that, that is $4. So you're essentially getting 3 of those shades for what you would pay for one huge or their regular size one. So I highly recommend that set, and I think I'm actually going to pick that up. Next, I'm going to talk about the Patrick Ta blush duos. I think this is my favorite of a lot of them. This is the shade She's Blushing, and I think it's really beautiful. Look at those swatches. The top one is the cream, the bottom one is the powder, and I really, really love this formula. I love that these shades are complementary versus identical because this will be suitable for fair skin tones all the way to tan skin tones. I'm not sure how it's going to look on deeper skin tones, but you can try. However, I really think that if you have fair, fair to light, medium, tan skin tones, this is something that you should consider. I really think that it is better to buy these individually. You get a lot of product, but also the formula here is a lot better than what you can find in the palette that he just released. The last blush I want to talk about is not actually a blush, except for the fact that I choose to use it as a blush, but it is the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand in Pinkgasm. I have a video of me applying this as a blush, and it is absolutely stunning. I've worn it so many times as a blush since then. I'm really excited that I have it because this was an impossible product to find this year because of TikTok. It became TikTok viral. Now, this shade is really beautiful. This product is really beautiful, but it is $40 at retail. Yeah, you can find it, but you have to pay $40. And the reason I'm mentioning it in this video, aside from the fact that I really love it and I really recommend it, is that it's not because I want to recommend it at $40 at full retail, but because Charlotte Tilbury came out with a set for the holidays where this one and the shade in Spotlight are both available in the same set in half sizes. And that set costs $32. So that means that for $32, which is $8 cheaper than if you had purchased just one of these, you can get 2 shades to try out and enjoy. And then if you're Rouge and you save 20% on top of that, now you're paying around $25.60. So it's a really much better deal for you to purchase it like that. And that's why I want to recommend it, because I love it, but I don't want to recommend a $40 product. I'm done with the blushes, but let's go in with the bronzers. I really want to recommend these in no particular order, and I want to start with the Merit Bronze Bombs. I really love these. These were sent to me for review, and I'm going to link the video where I'm using it and reviewing it down below so I don't have to get into it here. But I really love these enough where I think I'm going to be purchasing it as soon as I use this up. I have 2 shades. This one is in the deeper shade that I have, which is Clay. So this would be like for light skin tones, maybe medium skin tones. Really love it. Oh, is that a ring of foundation? Yes, it is. But I really like it, and I've used up quite a lot of it. I mean, it's mostly flat at the top, and I have it in the shade Clay as well. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of product still at the top because this is the lightest shade, and I'm going to be wearing this during the depths of winter where I'm like super duper fair. Really love this, really recommend it. I'm not going to go any further into it. I'm going to link the video below, and I'm going to get in with my next bronzer. The next bronzer I want to talk about is also a cream bronzer, and it is the NARS Laguna cream bronzers. I really love this one. This is in the shade Laguna 01, and I want to show you the shade. It is a really beautiful, cool toned mostly cool toned with a little bit of warm bronzer. And I did not realize how much of it I used actually. Look at that. I have a real dip going in there. It's a really natural bronzer if you have fair to light skin tone. I highly recommend it. And I love this one. I actually suspect that I might hit pan on this and might have to purchase a new one either around spring or certainly around winter next time. I really love it. I think it's a beautiful bronzer, wears beautifully, works beautifully, great shade. Really recommend it. This has been the year of cream bronzers, and I'm not hating it. This is another cream bronzer. This is the Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer, the Beautiful Skin cream bronzer. I think it's absolutely stunning. I have it in the shade 2 medium, only because the one light was actually so cool tone as to appear almost gray on me. I didn't really love it. I'd rather go in with a light hand with this than have to deal with that grayish tone. It's almost like a contour shade, but this one is really beautiful. This is definitely something that in the depths of winter, I'm going to have to go with a very light hand with, but when I'm a little fake tanned or in the summer, this is absolutely stunning on me. I really love this cream bronzer. I highly recommend it. You get a ton of products too. Now, I'm fully aware of the fact that you might have had all of those bronzers, and you might actually have this one as well because it's been out for a while. It is powder, but it is also Charlotte Tilbury. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury Gigantic Bronzer. What is it even called? It is the Airbrush Bronzer. And it is absolutely beautiful. I think that this bronzer applies really beautifully, very evenly. It's not patchy at all. Very easy to blend out. Looks soft on the skin. Love it. Recommend it. But I think that it might be a better thing for you to try to find this on ASOS because I think that's where I bought it. Also, by the way, I have it in the shade 2 medium. So I think that if you have light to fair to light skin tone, you can pull that off. I want to talk about a couple of Sephora Collection products, one of them being the Sephora Boost and Lock Eyeshadow Primer. I find that this is really close, if not identical, to the eyeshadow primer potion from Urban Decay. I really love it, and it's $12 at retail. This was sent to me, however, I've been really loving it, and I think I'm going to repurchase this as soon as I run out. The next item I want to talk about is actually Sephora Collection brushes. I have this powder brush from the Sephora Collection. It is in the number 59. It is really lovely. It is very soft, really applies powder really well. You can even use it for bronzer. I really love it. I highly recommend it, and you can get 30% off on these. The next and last Sephora Collection item I want to talk about is this eyeliner. This is their Sephora 12-Hour Colorful Contour Eye Pencil. I love this. This is waterproof, and I have it in the shade 51 Stone. I really love wearing these gray or charcoal shades in my waterline instead of black because I think that they look a little bit better and a little less harsh. Brown can be a little bit too difficult for me to pull off because I do have neutral to sometimes cool leaning skin tone, but I really love this one. This is really beautiful. I highly recommend it. I think it's also $12. I've talked about this powder before, but I really love it and I want to recommend it here as well. This is the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist setting powder. I really love it. I think it's super finely milled, really beautiful. I love it so much that I'm actually going to get a backup of it, even though I don't like buying backups of products. It's already affordable at $22, but if I can save 20% off on top of that, I'm going to. I don't know what kind of sales she does historically. I guess I could look it up, but I think that this is a powder that I need in my life and you probably need it as well. As mascaras go, I really want to recommend this Benefit Their Real mascara. I've been a very loyal user of this since they came out with this. Must be more than a decade at this point. Really love it. I'm wearing it today. I highly recommend this one. I don't know if there's anything better than this. Certainly not for lengthening. So I really recommend that you try this one out at least. I know I said that I wasn't going to mention anything that I mentioned during the spring savings event video, but I want to mention this one, not because of this shade, although it is very beautiful. It's my absolute favorite lip balm shade. This is in the shade Vanilla Beige. As much as I love this shade, I really wanted to wear this product at night, and I really never could because I love white pillowcases. Actually, white bedding in general is just very nice and cooling. But I really didn't want to wear this at night, and I was going to buy the vanilla shade, which is actually just clear. And I wanted the vanilla shade so much that when I saw that they came out with a set that had a full size of it, as well as 3 minis or half sizes, I bought it. I bought it without a discount because I loved it so much. And I really love this as a lip treatment. I think it's absolutely stunning as a lip treatment overnight. So I really want to recommend it. Mind you, you also get 3 minis in different shades. Really nice. Really nice. Continuing with the lip products, I really, really want to recommend this Merit Beauty Tinted Lip Oil. I think it's called Shade Slick Tinted Lip Oil. This is in the shade Pink Beat, and I think it's absolutely stunning if you have light skin. It's so beautiful. I don't know if you can tell, but I used it so much. There's actual there's actual windowing in the bottle. I think I'm going to pick up a backup of this because I am so close to being done with it, and it is really nice and hydrating, feels great on the lips. I don't know if I'm going to buy it on the Merit Beauty website, only because I don't know what they do for sales historically, but I'm going to check that out. The next item I want to recommend is the Tower 28 Lip Jelly in the shade Pistachio. Now, I had this product in a different shade earlier on in the year. I bought it during the last holiday savings event, and I didn't like it. I actually couldn't wait to use it up, and I did, and I was so glad to be done with it. But then somehow this one came into my collection. I think it was part of a duo with their cream blush, which I really wanted, but it was for the price of the cream blush. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go for it. And then one day I was like, what am I gonna do with this? And I tried it over my NYX Slide On Glide On lip pencil in nude suede shoes, and it created my perfect nude lip shade, and I love it so much that I keep using it. I'm actually more than halfway through this product already, so I'm actually going to buy at least 2 backups so I have it for a few months, and then I'm just going to buy more as I need to replenish them. But I highly recommend this. I really, really love it, and it's only $15, so by Sephora standards it's basically free. The next thing I want to recommend is actually the Pat McGrath Lip Gloss Duo. I really like these glosses, but I think that if you want to try the glosses, the best way to do it is by trying this particular lip set, because for $30 you get 2 full-size lip glosses when each one of these would be $29. And on top of that, if you are buying it on Sephora, and I think you can only purchase this duo on Sephora, and you are a Rouge, you get to save 20% off on that. I did not save 20% off on that. That would be, what, $24 for this set? Really recommend that. So the next 2 items I want to talk about them individually, but also in how they come in a set with something else that makes a really good sense to buy together if you intend to buy every single item. So the first one is a Dr. Dennis Gross Advanced Retinol Ferulic Triple Correction Eye Serum. This is, as far as I understand, this is safe to put on your eyelids, and it is a retinol. I love it. It's really gentle. You have to wear sunscreen over it. It is an expensive product, which is why after all this, I'm going to be talking about how you can get it in a set with something else that a lot of people seem to be interested in. The next item that comes in that set that I also recommend individually is the same brand, Dr. Dennis Gross Vitamin C and Lactic Oil-Free Radiant Moisturizer. I really like this. I really think that this is a beautiful moisturizer for the morning. I use this for about 2 to 3 weeks continuously because I wanted to see if it actually lived up to whatever it was claiming, which is to help get rid of any pigmentation, dark spots, moisturize the skin. Really does. Really beautiful. Really love it. I think I'm going to actually get a backup of this because I am like almost half of the way through. The reason I'm mentioning these two, aside from the fact that I really love them and I do recommend them, is because if you're also interested in buying the Dr. Dennis Gross LED face mask, and you were willing to buy it without, any additional stuff coming with it, I think that you should buy the set that includes the face mask, these two, as well as the exfoliating pads. There are 5 exfoliating pads for the same price as just the LED mask alone. And of course, then you can save 20% off if you're Rouge and so on and so forth. But I highly recommend that if you want to buy something, especially something expensive like the LED mask, you see if they're offering something where you get more with your purchase than just the product itself. Like in this case, you would be getting these 2 in full sizes. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Please let me know if you've bought anything from this list, or again, let me know what it is that you recommend that I purchase during the sale. Ta-da! I'll see you in my next video.